Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Bitcoin and cryptocurrency video. In today's video we will be discussing the price action for Bitcoin. We will be taking a look at a few different metrics to try and see if there is some sort of confluence and predict what the most likely move is going to be in the short term and in the long term. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as it always means a lot to me. And if you are a fan of cryptocurrency, I have a cryptocurrency shop where you can shop cryptocurrency products inclusive of a crypto educational course, which is where I educate the fundamentals to a high level. You can essentially dissect my brain because everything I have in my brain is in this course. It is currently 20% off. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can make your next purchase. So without a further ado, let's begin. I'm going to be taking a look at a few key metrics as mentioned previously. We're going to be taking a look at the moving average, the RSI, Fibonacci levels and liquidation levels, and I'll go into each one in detail. So to begin with, let's discuss the moving average. And a moving average is essentially a lagging indicator which helps you track where the trend is within the market. So if price action is trending above a moving average, you can say that price is in an uptrend, or if price is trending below a moving average, you can say that it is in a downtrend. Previous examples is that since October 2023, Bitcoin has been trending up because it has been holding key moving averages as support. Whereas on the converse, if Bitcoin is trending below moving averages, you can say that it's holding it as resistance, which coincides with the fact that Bitcoin is in a downtrend. The RSI is another key metric which tracks the momentum within the market. There is a threshold of 70 to 30, even though the threshold is between 0 to 100, theoretically speaking. 70 indicates that the momentum is essentially overbought, and 30 indicates that the momentum is currently oversold and at the lows. Fibonacci levels, coming from a mathematician, Fibonacci levels are great because it uses a whole load of formulas to understand where the Bitcoin price could go, where current ranges of support are, and where current ranges of resistance are. Again, coming back to the liquidations essentially shows points where traders can get liquidated, especially if you are a futures trader. An event occurs when traders' positions are closed due to price fluctuations and their margin account balance is insufficient to cover the open positions. To prevent further losses for both traders and exchanges, most exchanges offer a liquidation level, which is the price at which leverage trades will be forcibly closed due to smart contracts. So you will lock in a contract to say if it is 10x and you long the market, if price drops 10%, you will get liquidated, and same on the other side. So I'm going to put all of these metrics together and see what the most likely scenario could be for Bitcoin in the short term and in the long term. So starting off with the 20-week moving average, I believe that this holds the most weight when it comes to Bitcoin price action. A lot of people like to use the 50-week moving average, the 100-week moving average. They even like to use this on the short term, on the daily chart, for example. But the 20-week for me means the most, as it also coincides with the bull market support band, which is a group of moving averages which allow you again to show if Bitcoin is in an uptrend if it holds it as support, or in a downtrend if it's holding it as a resistance. So currently speaking, the 20-week moving average is at 64,143. Bitcoin is just above that by $100, currently holding it as support. Now this essentially closes within a day or two, because I'm filming this on a Saturday and a new bar chart will come out Sunday evening for Monday, and this moving average will look to trend upwards. So it'll be great to see if Bitcoin can close it above to show that it is indeed holding it as support. So if we just grab this Fibonacci level right here, and with Fibonacci, guys, I like to hold it from a significant high and then put it towards a significant low. The reason for is because it just cleans up all the noise and it helps you understand actual key levels, rather than putting the Fibonacci, for example, somewhere down here or somewhere over here. That's more of the short term short-term time frame stuff, but I like to just clean up the noise and identify significant tops and significant bottoms. And you can see that when putting it at the significant top, at this one level, Bitcoin is holding significant resistance. So there's our first confluence, right? There's a reason why Bitcoin is struggling at this level, and it's because it is at a previous all-time high, which marked the top in the previous bull market. If we put it down to our lows, which was around 15k, we now have our key levels. We have the 1618, which is 100k, which could be the reason why some folk on X could be suggesting that 100k will be our top for this bull market. We also have ranges going down, the 0786, the 618, which is the golden pocket ratio, the 0.5, the 0.382, and the 0.236. These indicators play a key role because majority of the time price will essentially gravitate towards these key levels because it acts as a magnet. Yeah, and you can just see like the golden pocket ratio, the 618, when price was going to 48, 49k, a lot of individuals were saying, okay, that will be our midterm top. It did peak to that 618 and then dropped significantly. But Bitcoin built a base and then worked its way back up to previous all-time highs and is now holding the 786 around 57k as support. By putting all of these together, what can we suggest, especially with the RSI, because the RSI has just come off a major blow off top. It has come off a level of 88, which is where the momentum has significantly put in a top. And whenever momentum significantly puts in a top, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin's price can go down in the short term, because this 88 level top essentially coincides with this candle right here, which is where Bitcoin reached 64k. Bitcoin's price went up higher the following week, even though the RSI went lower. That is what we call a divergence, a bearish divergence, as you will, where the Bitcoin price goes higher, but the momentum slows down. Yeah, and on the converse, when Bitcoin's price goes lower, but the RSI is going higher, that is a bullish divergence. So what can we say about these key levels? Before we get into it, I just want to look at liquidations, because liquidations is also an important metric to compare to these other key metrics. And I'm at a point now where I want to garner as many metrics as possible and try to see if they all tell me the same thing. The more metrics that tell you the same thing, the more of an educated, risk-free trade you can pull off. So by taking a look at the liquidation levels, this is 24 hours. You can see that there's a heavy build-up of liquidations around that 63k. So keep that in mind, 63k, yeah? If we now go over to the weekly, you can see that there is a whole bunch of liquidations. We have liquidations above us and liquidations below us. Heavy liquidations at that 63k and heavy liquidations at that 67k. If we now turn this up a notch and go to the monthly, liquidations are here but here and there. There's no heavy liquidations, but there is a big cluster around that 72k. So we know that in the short term, there is a big cluster between 67 and 63, but in the medium term, there is a big cluster at 72. So keep that in mind. Keep those key price levels in mind, 63 and 72, etc. I also like to conduct a Fibonacci at strong local highs and strong local lows. So if we move this Fibonacci and bring it to our most recent all-time high, as you will, as that is also a very significant top, and then mark it to the bottom of April, which is where we had our significant low, where Bitcoin rebounded strongly off of, which was around 56k. If we now take a look at these key price levels, the 618, the 0.5, etc., Bitcoin was rejected again by the 786 on the weekly level. We have these wicks up here, but the body of the candle closed below the 786, which is just below 70k. Again, a psychological number where individuals may like to take profit. But so far, especially in this week, you can see that the Bitcoin price, if I just get this exact, the Bitcoin price essentially wicked down to the 382, which is just over 63k. Now, what my brain tells me is that, again, We haven't closed this weekly candle because this weekly candle could evidently close above the 0.5, which is just above 65k, or it could even crash down. You never know, because Bitcoin is 24/7 and it also works on the weekends, not like banks where they only do a Monday to Friday and close over the weekend, just like stocks as well, right? So when it comes to finding confluence, we know that 63k is a significant level. Not only is it the 382 on the Fibonacci, but we know there's major liquidations there. And we also have 72k, which is a big cluster of liquidations, and it's just above the 786, where we've struggled to get a foothold over, even though we have wicked to that level. So when piling all of these metrics together, you have to understand, okay, Bitcoin is currently holding support at the 20-week moving average. It wicked down to the 382 and showed some sort of strength on the short term. The RSI is currently in no man's land. And the reason why I don't like to look at the RSI at a single level is because just by looking at the RSI, you cannot understand where price can go. The RSI is in this box right here at 59. It can either go back up or go back down, just like price, I know. But when looking at the confluence of metrics, it helps you understand the RSI more. You cannot just look at the RSI on a single level because you'll just get wrecked. So Bitcoin price is holding support at the 20-week moving average. It is also holding support at the 382 Fibonacci level. The RSI is in this medium range. We have more room to go up or more room to go down. And there is a big cluster of liquidations at 63k and 72k. So in the short term, as price is only 64.2k, we can see one major last dip to that 62k level to clear out all of those liquidations. This would essentially result in the RSI going back down. The liquidations would have cleared and Bitcoin would have taken out the 382 level. It would also be trading under its 20-week moving average. If Bitcoin candle closes below the 382, then you may start to think, okay, maybe the trend has shifted. The RSI is going lower. It can reach the lower end of this box. But we cannot ignore that 72k level, where there is a heavy cluster of liquidations, because the Bitcoin price could essentially bounce back up, but now that it has gone down essentially 10% from its local high, there will be significant resistance on the way back up. So the bulls have a lot of fighting to do. Where I believe, or where I predict the most likely outcome is that Bitcoin tags the liquidation levels at 62, 63k, just to liquidate all of those long traders before then making its move back up to that 72k level to then clear all those short traders. This would also be confluent with the fib level, the 786, also confluent with the moving average holding as support, and also confluent with the RSI that could make a lower high evidently. So that is it from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. We'll come take a look at this in a couple of weeks time to see how PA develops over the short term and see if anything changes with the ideology of the support resistance, see if any liquidation levels have changed, and see where the RSI is to get more of a clearer picture. So far, Bitcoin is in the middle of this channel. You can't really... We're marking out this channel. Bitcoin is in the middle of it, right? So it's very hard to make a prediction, because if Bitcoin was at the lower end of this channel right here, and the RSI is all the way down here, and then you have liquidations cleared out, then you can make a more of an educated guess to say, okay, there's more probability of Bitcoin going to the upside. Whereas if Bitcoin's trading at the top of this channel, you've got liquidations cleared out, liquidations are all below, the RSI is all the way up here, you can make a more of an educated guess to say, okay, Bitcoin's going to go down. But in the short term, the most predictable way that I believe the Bitcoin price could form is that it could go down to clear this 63k, tap this 382 one more time, but close above the 20-week moving average before making its way back up to 72k to clear those liquidations. So again, that is me. It's been your boy J1 General. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.